We're going to go live here to do a test to see if. Hang on a second. Okay, now. Okay, now try this. All right, so I got my mic set up. I do need a windscreen. I'll talk above it a little bit. That'll help. Camera, camera one, and then how come I can't? I guess I can't. And then that's camera two. A little bit like that. Okay, so camera one, camera two. I can flip back and forth like that. It's a little wonky. It's not exactly a smooth transition, but it's a transition that doesn't cost me $40 a month to do. So, all right. So we're going to check the audio level and hopefully the stream is good. So we'll talk for a couple minutes and see how things go. Let me do this. I'm going to share my screen. I want to this one. Okay. So we're gonna hang on. Let's do this. Let's put it over here. Am I still sharing the screen? Yes. Okay. Um, so I want to do this. I want to go to I have it saved. I want to go to Momondo. I don't think I've got it saved. Okay, so let me put this in here. Do this. Okay. Now, before I forget, let me bookmark this. And it looks like I'm signed in. So say I want to travel from Manila to Bangkok. Whoa. All right. So we got Manila to Bangkok, one adult round trip. We'll go round trip. And let's bring up the calendar. So you can see in the calendar, the green dates are the cheaper flight dates, and the yellow dates are average. And then if you get into the red, which you will during December, that's your holidays, that's going to be your higher price. So you can see here the average is 165 round trip average, 169 and 175. But those aren't exactly, those are estimates. Those aren't exact. So you need to actually punch in the dates to see a better idea. So say I want to go in July. Let's say leave on Sunday the 28th and go back on Wednesday the 14th of August. Okay, so I punch those dates in. So now I fly out of Manila to Bangkok, all airports, July 28th, and coming back on August 14th. So hit search, and then see what punches up here. Now I'm going to have to. It brings up another screen, so I'm going to have to reshare. So hold on just a second here. Okay, so here's what you're seeing. All right, so this top gives all the dates of the outbound and return, July through August, August on, and then you can scroll with these arrows. But there's your dates. There's your departure date, and there's your return date. And so I'm going to put my glasses on so I can actually see what I'm talking about here. So look at these prices. Look at this. So AirAsia leaving at now. Granted, these times are a little. You got to look at the times. You got to look at a lot of different things. I don't. There's a lot of filters here on this side that you could use. I generally do not use a lot of filters to begin with because I want to give I want to get as many options as possible to come up, and then I can filter at that point if I want to, or I can go through each one and find the best option for me. So here's your cheapest right here. So right now it's set by best. You can these tabs up here. You can get your quickest flight, which really doesn't make much of a difference going to Bangkok because this is 3 hours 15 minutes is your fastest. Otherwise, it's about 3.5 hours. So not that big a deal. So I wouldn't worry about it. If you're traveling greater distances, the quickest flight may be an option for you. So I'll click on cheapest. So it'll punch up the cheapest flight here. Usually the top one is a sponsored one. So this is sponsored by eDreams, which I've used before. I would caution if you use eDreams to buy your ticket through, because if you're not careful, it will sign you up for their premium package, and before you know it, without even realizing it, you're paying a monthly fee for their premium rate. So I kind of avoid that just to make sure I don't get stuck paying those things without knowing it, because it happened to me. So this is your unsponsored here. You can see the sponsor up above there on that one. So here's your unsponsored. So your cheapest flight is $128, and that's nonstop, 3.5 hours. But you're leaving at 11:10 at night, and you don't get into Bangkok until 1:40 Bangkok time. So that's kind of a weird time to get in. I mean, it's okay if you've got arrangements, if you know where you're going and you can check into your Airbnb or wherever anytime. If there's not a check-in time, that's fine. Traveling at night is great because you don't run into a lot of traffic. It's you're in the airports and you're in and out pretty quick because there's not a lot of people. It's easier to find a taxi or a Grab, and it's cheaper, and you can get to where you need to go a lot faster. So if that's your big thing, if you're okay with flying overnight, then this would be a good option for you. And then you return at 9:20 and you get into Manila at 1:50. Now I do love, since you're coming back here and this is if this is your home like it is with me, I don't need to worry about checking in anywhere. So I do love coming back at night because what I could do is, and I only bring a backpack with me when I travel, so I just put my backpack on my back and I hang out after noon or whenever I check out of my Airbnb or in my hotel, and then I just hang out. I'll go get lunch, or I'll maybe in the afternoon I'll hang out at a bar or a pub or something and have a couple of beers until the evening, and then my flight leaves at 9:20, so probably around 6 or so I'll head to the airport, and then I got a couple hours to waste at the airport. I'll charge my phone or whatever, or just kind of catch up on things, maybe take a quick nap or whatever. And then you get in at 1:50 in the morning here, and there's relatively no traffic. So you're traveling. It's easy to get a taxi. It's metered because they don't try to rip you off saying there's too much traffic or whatever. So you can get a metered taxi, and that's pretty cheap, or you can get a Grab that comes really fast. So, and you can get home at a good time, and then you just fall into bed. That's what I do. Just drop my backpack off and strip my clothes off and jump into bed, and I'm done. I'm good for the night. And then you get up the next morning. So these flights are all basically the same flight, and the same looks like they're all the same flight. Now here's one that leaves a little earlier. This would be a good option for you. 6:20 in the evening, you get there at 8:50. So if you can do a late check-in to your Airbnb or hotel, this would be a good option. It's a little more, $137. But really, when you think about it, $137 round trip, holy moly, that's cheap. That's really cheap. I got one to Malaysia for $101. And that's the cheapest I've ever seen it flying out of here. So anyway, so there you go. There's those flights, and then here's one for 142 through Cebu Pacific, and then you come back on Philippines Air Asia. So you can see the different airlines that you would take, and then you can just keep scrolling, and it keeps getting higher and higher. The prices, the times are probably a little different. So if you're ready to take that trip, and let's say I want to get there at 8:50 at night. So I'll do that. I'll pay 137. So I'll click on this. This will give me the details. If I click on that, that opens up, and you can see all the details here. So you leave out of Manila at 6:20, 3.5 hour flight. You get into Bangkok at Don Muang International, which is DMK. Don Muang is the older airport. That's where you get mostly the discount flights. So anytime you're looking for a discount ticket, most likely you'll be flying in and out of Don Muang. Otherwise, you'll be flying in and out of Suvarnabhumi, which is the newer airport. Both are fine. I have no problems with Don Muang. I've flown in there many, many times. So, and then on the night of August 14th, you leave at 9:20. You get in at 1:50 local time, which would be early in the next morning in Manila. So, and then here's your options. You can buy through these. You can buy through Trip.com, eDreams, or Kiwi. I've done all of these. My favorite is Kiwi. I've worked with Kiwi before, and I've never had a problem with them. They've been really good. It's a little higher, a couple of dollars, no big deal. But what you do is you just click on it. You can view the details, and then let me share that screen now with you. Okay, so there's your details right here. So there's your flight details. You're on AirAsia, both going and coming back. Here's your total cost right here. And what you do is you just come down here, and it'll ask you for add-ons, any add-ons you might want. So if you want to have them check you in, you can do that. I don't do any add-ons because I just do a carry-on, so I don't have to worry about luggage. Check in. You put in your information here, your name, birth date, your passport, and all that. If you've got carry-on, you can check on that and put your carry-on in there. This is what the cost is. One bag, 20 kilos, is $66.67. I would rather stuff everything into one backpack and carry it on. So I don't have a problem with that. Then if you have two carry-ons, then it's that. But if you don't need to check in, just click the box. You can see a running total up here. So anything you add on, excuse me, anything you add on will be added to your total here. If you want to add another passenger, you can click on that and do that. Since I didn't put this information here, it's not going to allow me to go any further, but you can, let me see if I can do this. JJ Brown, ask me again and I'll knock you down. US, gender male, let's say January 1, 1958. That sounds good. Okay, so let me see if I can go. I don't know if it's going to let me. Yeah, I think it will. Okay, so let's move on. Nope. Why didn't it let me do this? One. There. Okay. Now here's some other options. Um, this is your basic services. So no flexibility on your trip, no refunds, anything like that. So if you're sure you're going to make the flight and you're sure you're going to book it and you're sure you're going to go and you're not going to have to change flights or anything like that or change dates, then you click on your continue with your basic services. If you want to do anything premium, you can click on the upgrades. So there's some upgrades. But right now, I'm just going to stick with the basics. If you want to do your standard, you get all the regular services plus free trip changes, and you only pay the difference. Well, that's not a big deal for me. Flexi would be 80% refund on your ticket if any airline services are canceled or if you cancel. So if you think you might cancel, you're going to have to pay, you want to pay this, but it'd be 190 instead of 141. But like I said, we're just going to go with the basic, and that's what you get right there. So you lock in that price, or you can lock in that price. Um, you can view the breakdown. Let me see what basic. Continue with basic. Okay, so here we go. Here's another add-on. Protect yourself from carrier cancellations or disruptions. So you can pay an extra $21.15. That Kiwi.com will cover the cost of a new trip or offer an instant refund. So if you want to do this alternate flight, replacement flight instantly without the need to contact anyone, you can pay the extra $15. I'm going to stick with it. Stick with the no thanks, I'll take the risk. And then you move on, and then you can pick your seat. Window costs you a little extra for a window or aisle or extra leg room. So if you're a big guy, I'm 6 foot, 200 pounds. So sometimes I would if I'm on a longer flight, I might get the extra leg room or pick an aisle seat or something like that, or a window. This is a 3.5 hour flight, no big deal. So I'm going to stick with the free random seating and kind of roll the dice on that. But if you'd like to pick something, you can actually pick your own seat. But it's going to cost you. It shows you here. It's like buying a ticket at a football game. It shows you what their seating price is. But I'm going to continue without doing anything extra. So here's all my information. If I want to go back and change anything, I can hit the edit on all of these things here. Then you put your email and your phone number, and then you put your address. And then the next thing would be to put your passport. I believe it asks for your passport, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so you lock all that in and then you pay the 141, but I'm not going to get into that. So that's how easy it is to get your tickets on Momondo. Super easy. You go back to the original. And if you want to change the date, say, oh, the $141 or the $128, I want to see if I can get a little better deal. And I can kind of tweak this. All right, let's get out of here. Go back into the flights. Okay, so say I want to try to tweak it. So let's go up here and see if I can find something cheaper. So if you look up here, these are your dates. Like, so we're leaving on the 28th of July. There's your date right here, this tab here. Your return is here on the 14th. If you notice, all these tabs have different heights. And you'll notice when you put your mouse over that, your cursor over that, it shows the price. This is an approximate for the trip. So you can see the lower the tab, lower the graph here, the less the price is. So you can actually go down and find the lowest you can find. Here's one for 82. So say, okay, so I'm flexible. Say I can come back on the 23rd. And now let's see if I can find a cheaper flight to leave. Uh, Here's one on the 6th. So if I leave on August 6th and come back on August 23rd, let's go ahead and check those prices and see if I can find a good. So I've changed the prices down here. There's, if you look up here, they're not changed. So you have to click this where it says search these dates. So click that. And now it's going to bring up new prices and new dates. And now your cheapest is $126. So you save $2 on the basic. Same flight. You'll be leaving at 11:10. You get into Bangkok at 1:40 a.m. You leave Bangkok at 9:20 on the whatever date that is, on the 23rd of August, and you get into Manila the next day on the morning of the 24th at 1:50 p.m. So 126. So let's change these. So let's put this on cheapest here. And this again is your sponsored one, and the sponsored one is actually one of the cheap ones. But here you can go and look at all these. Here's a nice one for 135 where you're leaving at 9:05 in the morning. So you get there at 11:25, which would be perfect because once you leave the airport and get to where you need to go, your hotel or your Airbnb or whatever, then it's probably going to be close to check-in. If not, grab a quick lunch. They'll probably let you leave your bags at the hotel lobby there until you're ready to, or the condo lobby until you're ready to check in. And then your departure is the same as the other ones, 9:20 at night, 1:50 the next morning. So those are good. This is a good one too. So you get in at 11:25 in the morning. You come back and you get into Manila about 5 o'clock at night. The only problem with this is that's prime traffic hour, so you're going to run into a lot of traffic. So that could be a little bit problematic on your way back. Like I said, I like to get in early in the morning because then there's no traffic, it's cheap, and you can just go to bed as long as you got a place to lay your head. You don't have to check in anywhere. Here's another one where you leave at 6:20, get in at 8:50. So you got a lot of options. Now, let's look at the filters over here. So here's your filters. You can click if you want more than one stop. You're not going to have to worry about that with this short flight. I mean, you can, but then you're looking at big layover. So why would you? You can. I hide United because I don't like flying United. You can't fly United from Manila to Bangkok anyway, but that's if I was flying out of the States or going to the States. You can do nonstop only, one stop or two stops. You can uncheck those if you want. Baggage, you can add baggage, checked in bag or carry-on bags, and it'll give you the flights that allow you to take more than one carry-on and that sort of thing. Takeoff and landing time. So I've got it from midnight to midnight. So if you want, say, I only want to leave in the morning, so you can change these to whatever time whatever time frame you want to leave. Say 5:30 in the morning to 12 at noon, and then these options will all change for you. Because now you can do that, but you're really limiting your options is what you're doing. So you might not have the best options or the most options. If the more filters you use, the less options you're going to have. And you can do the same thing when you're leaving. Bangkok going back. Now you can check or uncheck any airline that if you only want to use Cebu Pacific, you can uncheck everything and then just check that box. If there's specific airlines that you only want to use, say you're using a certain airline because you get the frequent flyer miles, you get the mileage on it. So you want to clear all this and then just check the airline that you use. Um, Same with Alliance. Airports, if you only want to fly into Suvarnabhumi, you can just click uncheck the DMK box, the Damwang box. Flight durations, if you are on a longer flight, and some of the options are with long layover times, you can shorten your flight leg. You can shorten how long your layovers are and how long the flights are. And then prices, if you want to just put in a specific price point or a bracket there, you can do the same. Cabins, you can pick business if you want, or economy, or basic economy. You can pick anything you want there. You can pick if you're going to do a long flight somewhere and you want to have a layover in a specific town, city, or airport, you can pick that too. The flight quality, you can do you can find the ones that have Wi-Fi, or the red-eye flights only, longer flights, whatever. And then the different types of aircraft. If you want to only get on a turboprop plane or something like that, you can actually pick that. Or the Airbuses, or if you like the Boeing 787 Dreamliners, you can pick that too. So there's a lot of different options. And then booking sites. Say if I don't want to use eDreams, if I never want to see that option, I can just uncheck that. Or if you only want to have the options from the airlines only and not the booking sites, then just uncheck all those and just check the airlines that you're comfortable with. So there's your all your filter options. So you've got a lot of different options you can do, and that's why I like Momondo, because it gives you those options. And I'm sure there's other sites that do the same. And I know a lot of people, they tell me they like to book directly through the airport, or through the airline. They feel safe. They feel more comfortable that way, which is fine. This is not something that I would demand that someone should do. You're your own person. You do what you want. I'm just telling you, I've been using Momondo.com for almost 10 years now, and I've never had a problem with it, other than the eDream thing signing me up. But I've never had an issue with any of the companies that I've booked through Momondo.com. So very reputable, and very reliable. And I just love using it. It's really simple to use, and they're not a sponsor. They're not paying me any money to tell you this. I'm just telling you out of my experience. This is what I've been using for almost a decade now, and I've never had any problems with it. So I really like it. So there you go. I hope that's something you can take with you, and it will help you too.